Hey, vegan cyclist here. All right, so this is a RACECAST episode 10, I believe. I got Chaz here with me. This was a off the front circuit race. It's a super difficult circuit race. There is a really punchy little climb, and then a steep descent. And there wasn't that many people out here. I think there was 15. But Stork brought their guys out, and they had someone from Australia. I was talking to two guys from Australia. I was talking to one guy warming up, and he was talking about when he raced over in Europe. So the quality of the field here was pretty insane. And at the end, when I was talking with Stork guys, they were saying that this was probably the hardest local race they had ever done, which made me feel good, right? So we've got two cameras. We have Chaz's camera and my camera. The way we're going to do this, though, is Chaz throws on a massive attack, which flicks me. So as soon as I get flicked, we will then go to Chaz's camera and finish out his race, which is awesome, because if Chaz wasn't here and didn't have his GoPro, I would not be showing you this, because I wouldn't want to show you me riding around. But so, I mean, there was a split in the field, right? So the front went, and then the back could not go. And that happens about an hour in. Dude in front of us on the Lux, what is he? He was like a junior. He won something.
His name is Ruben. He's actually stayed with me that night. He won the juniors field at what's that race down south? Not Redlands. What's the other one?
San Dimas?
Yeah, he won for his team in the 17-18 GC at San Dimas stage race, like the week before. Yeah,
he was. He just looks like a cyclist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He like has that, just that. When you can kind of see it right now. Whereas like his hip bones, you can see him poking through on the back. You're just like, man.
He said he was about 5'11", 6 foot, and he weighed about 137. And I'm like 5'9", 145. So I was like, yeah, you're so much leaner.
Man.
Yeah, he's a cyclist. Kids.
So we've got some serious climbers here, or guys that are super lean, and then we have some that are not. And pretty much the selection, I feel like, is anyone that was over 150 pounds got flicked. I mean, really, if you
tough.
If you weighed over 150 pounds, you did not make the selection. Now Stork, they're the ones in the blue with the POC and the like GCN on the side. I don't know what that. They most likely they're gonna win. Right, so they probably could have just set tempo the entire race and then just sprinted. And for the first little while, that's kind of what they did, right? I mean, they sort of just sat at the front and pulled back anyone that was going off, and the pace was really manageable. And I was like, sweet, let's do this forever, because the attacks on the climb weren't really that bad until later on in the race.
Yeah.
You have a teammate here with you.
Yeah, the guy in front of you, his name is Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Yeah, but he did pretty good that race, and then I'm in front of him with like the neon socks. But
now this is a local race, technically, to you, right?
Yeah,
and you've done well. I mean, so you won in the threes twice,
both in breakaways.
One, it was a 4-man breakaway. We were all on a team, and that was super cool.
That was nuts.
That was really cool. It was like you. Who went?
You were up the road with was it Ryan Brooks at the time?
No, okay. So Ryan went first,
and then
Tony bridged to Ryan, or no, it was Tony and you, right?
No, you were up the road already.
No, I went second. So Ryan was up the road, then I went up the road.
And then Tony went.
And then you went.
And he couldn't make it, and as the field was catching him, I attacked, and he hung onto my wheel, and we bridged to you. And
Yeah.
We went 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then a different one, you broke away like halfway through and just
Yeah, I soloed,
smashed.
and I think my dad said he was timing me that day. I finished, a minute and a half ahead of the field.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded to Cat 2 and got humbled.
Yeah. So this part of the section right here, after you come down this downhill, is super fast, 30 miles an hour. And if no one's really attacking, you can recover. But it was almost one of the hardest, it's definitely the second hardest part of the course. When someone's attacking and they're going 35 miles an hour, dude, that draft, it's so weird. Like, it's so hard to get in that draft, and just to sustain 35 miles an hour is really difficult. So there were some times that people would attack right there, and it would just, it would put me in the red for sure.
It's a tough course because that climb it's punchy. As you go up it gets steeper, and at the top it has a little kicker with a headwind coming over the top. But it's only a 45 to 50 second climb. But then once you get over the top, you got like one more little kicker that's about 10 seconds, and then you go downhill and you do it all over again. I mean, I think we were running like 4 to 5 minute laps. So if you think about it, between each 50-second climb, you only have, 3.5, 4 minutes to recover?
Well, it's like VO2 intervals,
Yeah, they were doing 400 plus watts of that climb each time. And that sucked. Yeah. That was not fun. I think the best of the day, I did 469 up it for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And
I think I was 400 plus always. And that just taxes you. And so the thing is, that weakens you, but then you then have to respond to the attacks at the rest of the race. You know what I mean? And that's what gets really difficult is when you are you're already at the red, and then you have to respond to an attack, and then you have to hit this climb again. But I was doing big ring. I saw some people were going small ring, some people were going big ring.
I went small ring.
I think that was a mistake on my part. I was doing big ring, and just the grind, just the constant, like, you can see my RPMs aren't that bad right now. But
no, this is where it starts to get a little bit steeper.
So I'm watching for Stork and for your guys, right?
Oh, is that me off the trying to go?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, Chaz didn't charge his GoPro, so he actually only turned it on right as he made the field splitting attack. So we don't have this footage, but
what a noob.
What a noob. And so I'm watching Stork because if they go, this course notoriously will go to breakaways, just because if you can get over that climb, get a gap, people just don't want to chase. But man, this race stayed together for an hour, which is pretty uncharacteristic. And for how strong everyone was and how many attacks there were,
Well, I think the biggest problem was Stork had 3 guys, and then my team, Cycle Sport Specialized, we had 2, and then everyone else was pretty much solo. So everyone was really watching us to make attacks, and then the problem was Stork was incredibly strong with just those 3 guys, that even me and my teammate, we were either attacking with him or chasing their attacks because we had missed the attack. It was a hard day. It was really hard.
Well, and it was warm. It was kind of one of the first...
Yeah, it was a little warm.
The first hot days, right? I mean, it was... Most of the races up until this point have been cold.
That's true.
But what's a bummer sometimes is when I look back at these races and I see all the matches that I burned to go with moves that didn't ever pan out. And then you're just like, man, I should have played it more calm or whatever, because then you get dropped, right? So you're just like, man, I was trying to win, and then you get dropped. But look at it, we're still going 38. That's pretty fast. 39, and then guys will attack right here.
They're attacking over this little bump and then downhill.
Yeah,
that hurt.
Yeah, because you're screaming, you're going so fast, and you're spinning out of your gear. After the race, I was talking to the Stork guy, and he said that every time on the climb, he was watching me surge over the top and just burn matches over the top to like connect to people as little gaps would open up. And he was like, you can't do that. And what they were doing, for the most part, for the first while, wasn't really like 100% tax. They would just kind of slowly drill it on, like Team Skywise, like just put the pressure on. And if a gap opened up, they wouldn't worry about it. They would just slowly bring it back. And obviously, you can do that when you have a team, because you're not going to get stuck on the front. But so anyway, there goes your roommate off the front, and then I don't know what he just said to me. Something probably that I'm awesome and he loves my YouTube channel. That's got to be what he said.
I tried to go after him, Ruben, who went off the front for that Lux team. But obviously Stork missed the break, so they just went to the front and just...
Well, but I was sort of anticipating them, like this guy that I'm behind, letting his teammate roll. You know what I mean? And like causing that, like, because if that'd have been a good move. You, Lux, and then one of the Storks, for sure.
Yeah, it would have been game over probably.
But you can see that this guy in front of me is not. I mean, he's not going out of his skull, which I'm like so pumped right on. I'm like, yes, dude, like, let's just do this. Let's just have you guys slowly reel back every move, and then, you know, we don't have to attack, but then we're hitting 800 watts, right? Like, jeez. Like, these little kickers, man, they just... That's kind of what separates, right? The winners from the losers, which always I seem to be in the latter of that. But is how many times you can make those kicks, and then it's that one time that you can't, that everyone else seems to be able to do. Now, your teammate a few times, I felt like he should have like he was on the Stork guy's wheel. He shouldn't have followed that wheel. He should have let you three go. There was a couple times where I felt like he went with the front move while you were in there. Was there any idea, or like was there something you guys talked about, like let's get in the break together?
No, I mean we were just saying, you know, we just gotta. Our big thing was watch the Stork team. We gotta make sure that one of us gets up the road with them. And honestly, the first half of the race, I think I was getting into a lot of this stuff with them, and I didn't really watch to see what he did do a lot of work there when both of us missed the move. I did notice he was at the front quite a bit put in work, so maybe that's why he was never going off the front whenever they went, because he was just busy doing work for us and trying to pull them back. And it was tough. Me and him were both frustrated after the race just because those guys, they had three guys, and like you said, they put in these little like 15-second attacks, and then if people caught up to them, they just gave up. But if they went solo, then they would keep smashing, and it was very hard to figure out what they were trying to do. But they did so much that we responded to everything.
Why is that a thing? I feel like some of the best riders that I've ever rode with, they do that. They put in a eye gouging attack, and then as soon as you're on their wheel, they're done. Like they just shut it down instantly, and so it's so surgy. And
yeah, that happened at a race like 2 weeks ago. We had Andrew Talansky in the field, and that's all he did on the climb, was he put in these little 20-second attacks, and the field would be like, oh crap, and we would follow him, and then all of a sudden he would just stop. And I was like, what are you just playing mind games with us, bro? Like, I understand you're Andrew Talansky, but dude, calm down. Like, this is not fun when you do that.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, isn't that the way to do it, right? Is to... Because as soon as you get on someone's wheel and you start and you kind of stop the acceleration, then all of a sudden your effort is no longer matching their effort. Like your effort is much less than theirs.
Yeah.
And so I think that some of these riders that race pro level, high level, like these Stork guys raced in Europe, and I just think that's the way that it happens. You know what I mean? If you have someone on your wheel, you're just not even pedaling. And as soon as you can get a little gap, then you're, going full beast mode, turbo mode.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a mental game. Because, I mean, responding to those attacks hurts, but I think mentally it's just like, dude, again, you're doing it again. And I think that was their game, was I mean, if you could wear yourself out mentally, I think you're done. Because I've been able to push my body pretty far, but man, mentally when it's not there, I really don't care anymore, and I just quit. It sucks.
Yeah, that is a thing, right? Just not wanting to feel pain again versus if you know it's just going to be one steady, strong pull, you can kind of just like bear down. But when it's just these like repetitive deals. So what is your you came into this race, is this a target race for you?
No, I was building up to my target race, which was Copperopolis. So this was just a good training weekend. I mean, I just came off a rest week, recovery week, took it super chill that week. So this was really, I think this is actually my second race of the year. I haven't raced a whole lot this year.
Yeah, you haven't.
I've only been doing there's a series going on called the Premier Series, and I've pretty much been doing that. But this one was local, and I was like, of course I'm going to do it because it's local. It's in my backyard, 20-minute drive.
Yeah, it's not far, and it's a nice course. It's totally closed. It's just a loop. Last year, so this was supposed to be a housing development, and they were going to build all these really nice houses everywhere.
There's like three.
There's 3 houses, right? And like no one wanted to build out there, and so it's just this massive area of empty space. And this crazy woman last year walked out on the course and wouldn't move. She just stood in the middle of the road and was like, "You don't have permission to be here. This is my home." And it's like, well, the developer of this land gave us permission to be here. And she was just, one of 3 people getting so mad that cyclists are riding around her neighborhood, right? She probably lives right there to the right. Anyway, it was just insane. And so then this race was canceled for a while. It wasn't going to happen again. But then, I don't know, they finagled it.
See, right here, I wish my teammate Jeff went with that one. That was a good little move. And I think it was his turn to go with that, but it just didn't happen. I think that's one place. And right there, he should have followed the Lux kid because he was on his wheel. If I was on the Lux kid's wheel, I probably would have followed.
I think your teammate, though, I feel like there was a moment where he was so I could hear him breathing really, really hard. Yeah,
no, there was a moment in the race where he was suffering hard. And then when I made that move and he made the move with me, I was like, oh, dang, he like got a second wind and he's here. So I was super pumped.
So then who's off the front? Lux Kid is off the front.
No, I think he's, you got, was it Matt from, is it Big Orange or something?
Uh-huh.
And I think that they're...
Well, Lux just made it to him.
He did?
Yeah, he sprinted off. And so there's two up the road. The thing about that Big Orange guy is he's strong, but I feel like he's just coming back into racing, or like he's took a little bit of time off. Do you know his situation?
No, he was at the practice crits with us. I think he's at UCLA, right? Is that where he goes to school? I think he's just bogged down with school right now.
Well, I think he's really TT-ish because he always goes off the front and tries to hold like a good TT.
He does good for a while.
Yeah, well, but he goes off and he does these efforts like now where you're like, dude, there's no way you're going to hold that. You know what I mean? Like you're strong, but then he gets pulled back and then he gets dropped. And so he's like making these pretty gnarly efforts. So who else? So then now I know that for sure you two got to do something. I don't have to do any work because you two have to be doing work, right? Yeah. You guys aren't going to let that go. And so I'm going to let your teammate get back. Like, you know, sorry, bro.
That would have been perfect for him to jump back in front of you and then just kind of let off a little bit and let me go.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. You guys worked well as a single unit, but you could have.
That was the problem. We did a lot of work in chasing breaks, and we couldn't be as active as we wanted to because we spent a lot of our, I wouldn't say matches, but they were kind of like matches because I mean when you're putting in work, you're using energy, and then see like that happens, like no one's gonna respond to that really. So then I guess I will.
Yeah, no, that's definitely on you because if you don't.
But I didn't want to because that climb's coming up. Because I know they have 2 more guys in the field, and as soon as we hit the climb, they're just hanging on, and then they'll just smash over the top. So
Well, towards like the middle, they started just having guys pull at the front, and then their guy would come from the back and just
Bam.
rip across the top, and it was just vomit fest. So I'm doing 500 on your wheel, which means you've got to be doing 600 or so. I'm doing, because I think our watts are about 100 watt difference usually, or I don't know, probably right now you're probably the same amount of wattage, just lighter.
See, we just brought them back, and that stork guy in the front just attacked so hard.
I was so surprised.
Dude, your heart rate.
202 beats per minute right now.
Yeah, and see, that's what happened. That's what they did the whole race. Gosh, man. And they would attack over the top, and then somehow they would just come flying by. Once I don't understand how he responded like that. See, for me, I would have chased it, but I was so spent from the first guy that I have no idea.
I do not understand how he had anything in his legs.
They did that all race. Like, a dude would attack on the climb, and as soon as we'd crest the top, their second teammate would just attack at the top and take off. And I'm like, how? How are you doing that?
Yeah. And then here you go. And so I'm on your wheel. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. It hit 1,200 watts right there.
You hit 1,200 watts right there?
Yeah.
That's solid.
I just don't understand how more people didn't get dropped. Like, I kept thinking, okay, so I'm at 202 beats per minute over the top of that crest. That dude then attacks, which is just like, I don't understand how you were able to do that.
But see, that was frustrating, is no one pulled through.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you that everyone's spent. So for me, I was like, well, why did you all follow my wheel then? Like, if you're all that spent, you're not going to work until we go to the top.
But we are going into the downhill. So this is kind of the worst time to really make any sort of movement. So you got the stork guys now patrolling the front, and you've got one stork guy off the front. And Alex, he was feeling froggy. So he started going, and then...
He took a stork guy with him.
Yeah, and then you respond to that. I was going to respond to that, but then you went. And you start to get into the you got to know who you're here with, right? And I know you're super strong. Your team, your whole team is super strong. And you guys aren't going to let stuff just go away.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of lean on you.
Yeah, I would have let that go, honestly. But as soon as the stork guy went with Alex, Alex, he's a strong rider, but he is a sprinter. And I knew that, going over that hill repetitively, it was going to wear his legs out. So with that, when the stork guy went with him, that's when I decided to respond. If the stork guy didn't go with him, I didn't really care.
I think if the Lux kid wasn't in this race, it would have ended up totally different. Because he was like a wild card, and he made a lot of these little efforts that no one else was going to make.
Yeah, he was like one of the only solo riders that did a ton of work.
He did a lot of work.
I mean, yeah, he did a lot of work. And the rest of the guys that were solo, I mean, even you guys put in some efforts here and there.
I didn't put anything in on the front. No,
I never. You did. Yeah, you sat in a lot.
I never really went to the front and tried to make any sort of attack, just because you know that this race is hard, and that there's going to be this one moment over that climb where it just gets wild and crazy, and you need your matches for that.
And for you, I mean, you have to, if you're going to put an attack, you needed the carts to be just right in order for it to work.
Right.
For me, I knew people would follow me or my teammate because we were the only two there from our team, and if Stork went, we went with them. They would be pumped with that too. But yeah, if you're solo, you got to make sure they count.
Right.
This kid was so strong.
So strong. And so we... who else is in here? There's that guy from Squadra, super strong, but he's a big guy. And then Alex, he's off the front right now. And like you said, he's just not a climber, which is weird sometimes because he's light, he's small, and his power is pretty insane. So his power to weight ratio seems like it'd be for a climber, but maybe his just motor isn't there, right? I mean, at 170 pounds and he can put out massive amounts of watts, why isn't he really that great of a climber? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So
He's a good punchy little guy, though.
Yeah. So is that David Grunman? Is that? I think that's his name. David Grunman is the guy from Squadra. So then right here, a stork guy goes, and then like I'm thinking like this has got to be it, right? Because the Squadra guy was starting to let that gap open up, and then your teammate went. If your teammate hadn't gone,
we would have been screwed.
There would have been a big move there, because the Squadra guy, Dave Garman, he was getting gapped, and he only didn't get gapped because of your teammate and the stork guy kind of filled that in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is always so awesome when, oh my goodness, look at that dude.
Oh, is that me?
So you went, I mean, look, you guys are just gapping, and I'm doing 900 watts. Like, what is happening?
Oh, so we pulled the brake back. Dope, 'cause that's Alex.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone was on my wheel. I don't know who went with me.
No, I think Alex got dropped from that front group. But now I think the brake is all back. And, it would just go, look at my 200 beats per minute. Just every lap I was hitting 200 beats per minute or more. And that takes a toll, man. It takes a toll. And then this part, I think I eventually started doing the super tuck, which for me makes all the difference. It's just you're going so fast, and it's kind of sketchy right here. There's a little bit of sand in this corner. I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of like sort of hairy to do that. But right here is another thing. Like I'm doing 400 watts. We're going 36 miles an hour, and
that's because someone just attacked.
Yeah, look at that, 700 watts, man, and it's so easy to get gapped. If they had kept it on, that would have been something. And then so Alex has been feeling really good. I think his fitness was really, really good, and he did a ton of work in a few different races. And so he was feeling really froggy. But it's like in this, knowing who you're up against, right? If I never knew who Alex was, if I never raced against him, that move might be way more dangerous. I would perceive it as way more dangerous. But it's like, dude, I know for a fact you're not going to make it another hour by yourself.
I mean, I wanted to go after that really bad, but yeah, just knowing the style of rider he is, I didn't do it.
Well, it looks like it. Back. It looks like you're on the front.
Well, I'm up there with the guys. I don't know. Someone responded, and finally, we kind of let him go, and then we waited, and then we responded.
So there's the Portland guy right there. He didn't do much. I mean, really the only people that did any work, Lux, Stork, and then your team. Alex, I guess, a little bit. But everyone else, which you don't really even see them, right? Because they're all in the back.
It's true.
I tried to stay up as far front as I could.
That dude in the black and white kit was pretty strong.
Yeah. He got mad.
He made the move with me.
He got mad at me because he got gapped one time hard, and then I was just letting him pull, and then I attacked him and then tried to bridge up.
I would be mad too.
Yeah, he got kind of mad. But it was one of those opportunities where, man, he's going to help me make the break. So it was always nice when this climb wasn't so bad, right? Like, and it's so funny to say, 400 watts isn't that bad. So I think right here I dropped into my small ring. The attacks were so hard sometimes over the top that you could end up getting into a weird spot on your gears where you didn't have enough gear. And so I kind of felt like having that big ring, like being in the big ring over this spot right here was kind of beneficial, but I think I just blew my legs out. Just too much
force.
Yeah, too much force, the RPMs being too low for so long. I think it kind of waxed me. But I don't know. I mean, I after seeing my heart rate and how many punchy attacks there are, and I mean, so right now I'm still in the race for another 30 minutes. and it just gets even harder and harder. So you're eating right now?
Yeah. That's what I have that. They look like untapped maple, so just pure maple syrup, gel packet.
Do you wait for your heart rate? So when I sometimes try to eat or drink when my heart rate's through the roof, it's hard to breathe and eat at the same time.
Well,
like
yes.
right now, you got it just hanging out your mouth.
Yeah, because I had to wait till we went over the top of this climb. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to eat on the climb, and that was really hard.
Do you ever get it where guys will watch you eat and then attack you when as soon as you go to grab a bottle, they attack you?
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
It's happened to me.
I had a race where we were racing at and we were going through the feed zone. The feed zone was like on a 10% incline, and this dude just like peed right before the feed zone on his bike while riding, and then grabbed a ball through the feed zone. And as soon as he grabbed his bottle, he put it in his cage and just attacked massively up the climb and made everyone. I was like, that was really impressive. Taking a whiz, grab a bottle, and then attack.
Go.
That was amazing, all within 30 seconds.
So here's an effort, so there's the Lux Kid up. I think all the dangerous people are up the road, all the teams, and so I do something here. Obviously, my face is in the wind. I don't know who's up there. The Lux Kid, he's trying to bridge to, I think, 2 others. One of them's definitely a stork.
Yeah, I think the other one, it might be, there's a dude in all black. No, that.
Dude, that was so hard, and I messed up by not keeping my speed high. So I dropped all the way down to 30 miles an hour, and they came around me at 36. And then here I'm thinking, dude, this is it. I'm getting dropped.
See, Jeff, my teammate, made a good. Oh, he just gave up. Shoot, I was gonna say he made a really good move, and then I saw him give up, so I chased.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for you there,
they probably would have been gone.
that would have been. That's so crazy. It's so crazy to look back at these races and look at all these like little key moments that if they were just slightly different, or if one person wasn't in the race,
if someone just did not have the willpower to chase that, it would have been gone.
But that's kind of your MO, man. Chasing down winning breaks.
Yeah, I don't like that. If I'm not there, it's coming back. Even if it hurts like hell, it's coming back.
So then, that's always nice, though, when there's a break up the road and you see them looking back and not working, not pedaling. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then we get to, like, chill out for a little bit.
Well, that's the worst part is we went ham to get there, and, yeah, like, we finally saw that they were only 10 seconds up the road, and it's like, all right, we can breathe because we're going to hit this hill so hard that we will catch them.
How often does that happen, though, when you get that close to the break and then everyone goes, okay, we're going to catch them, and then everyone eases off, but then the gap, like, stretches out again?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens a lot. It happened to us in Turlock in the 3-4s where they got within 10 seconds of us and then just never closed it down. You know, I mean, it's funny how that works sometimes. So here we are on the climb. I'm doing my RPM's about 90.
Yeah, I averaged about 90 to 93 for this race.
See, I feel like 83 is a little low. I must be in my big ring because 80 is pretty low for how many watts I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then right there, like, ugh.
See, I'm in my small ring.
Yeah.
I was dropping to it at the base because I knew, dude, at the top it was so hard.
Yeah, I needed to have done that.
When we were in the 3s, I used to go up in the big ring because we weren't attacking like this every time up the climb. Did you notice that every time up the climb, someone attacked at the very top? I mean, he was usually a stork guy, but someone went super hard.
Yeah.
Like, we never took it at 400 or lower. It was always started out chill, and then halfway up, it was like, bam, full gas.
Well, because you know that there's going to be a moment where someone can't respond.
Yeah, that's true.
And then someone's going to get dropped. Which is just crazy that no one really got dropped. I think Matt from there you go. And that's just so mentally like,
And see right there, that's where I'm like, dude, where was my teammate? That was all him. Like, I just felt like I was
Well,
doing
he should have
a lot of
been.
work.
He should have been on their wheel to get that, because
Yeah.
as soon as you see and register attack, either already the gap's already made.
Yeah.
You know.
I was always I was like one step behind the next move. So if I hadn't gone hard with that climb and hadn't been on the front right there, I would have been probably mid-pack and I would have seen that move and I could have followed it. But the whole race, I was one step behind each move that they did. And it was frustrating for me.
Yeah, definitely frustrating. I mean, and I don't make a spoiler alert, but it gets even more frustrating for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, so talk about, because this is what the stork guys are talking about, is how different it is when there's not many guys. How different would this race be if there was 60 guys versus 15?
I think a break would eventually gone. I think a break would have eventually gone, and the pack would have been okay with it because they knew they would have had the firepower to chase it back.
But how much easier is it to not get dropped when you have 60?
So much easier.
Because, I mean, here, you make one little mistake, if the gap opens up just a little bit, and then you have no one really to chase. If the back, you know, if 50% of the field breaks off, you don't really have, like, a lot of people to chase.
Yeah.
And then it's just, you don't have any room to hide. So if you
Well,
go
yeah,
from
that's
the very...
the hardest part.
Yeah. If you go from the very front to the very back, it's 2 seconds. You know, versus if there was 60 guys, you could essentially start the climb, roll like zone 3 or 4, and then end up at the back of the group at the top of the climb and have that time to like recover. And that's what the stork guys were saying. It's just how crazy fast this was and how hard it was for a local race, because everyone was just going out of their skull to not get dropped. And
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't on the front working, then you were in the pack trying your best to hide. Because, I mean, like you said, it was windy out there. We had a tailwind right here, but going up the climb, as soon as we went over the top, it got windy, and then it was kind of a headwind going that way. And even going down the descent, we had kind of a crosswind. And so all the major hard parts of the course, if you weren't on the front or attacking or anything, you still had to, like, try your hardest just to sit in and hide. And with not that many guys, it makes it a little bit harder to hide. Because we're strung out. Even though we got 15 guys, we're usually single file. I mean, we might be 2 wide at the front, and that's it.
yeah. And then those attacks that those guys were putting in were so vicious, and there's like no one in the back to know. So if they go from... Because in a group of 60, you can't go from 60th and attack around everyone.
No.
You know what I mean? You'd be attacking for 20 seconds.
It'd probably take you a lap and a half just to move up to the top 20.
Right. But here, you can go from P15 to then off the front and catch everyone by surprise pretty easily. So then, I think this is about where I'm kind of saying...
This sucks.
Maybe the writing's on the wall. You know?
These hurt. I won't lie, man.
You can see my RPMs are just way too low. My heart rate is not that high, which means that I'm just sort of like... I mean, it's going to get high. But like my muscular fitness is starting to fatigue. Like I just don't have it. Or maybe my anaerobic motor is starting to fatigue too much. And so then I'm relying too much on my muscular, which is probably why I was in a low cadence.
Now, I mean, even though I rode extremely strong for this race, there was plenty of times where I was like, dude, I'm not going to make it over this crest. This is going to suck. I'm going to get dropped.
What do you tell yourself in that moment? Is there like a mantra that you play in your head? Like, is there anything that you try to tell yourself to ward away those little, you know, flick fairies, right? The flick fairies that are like, it's cool to get flicked. It's all right.
Yeah.
Just drop off. Stop pedaling. Like, how do you battle that?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, it's hard. 'Cause you're like, nah, I'm gonna quit. This is stupid. I'm gonna get dropped right now. Yeah, you're doing everything you can to stay on. I don't even know what you tell yourself, because I don't even know what I told myself in those moments.
Yeah. The bummer is sometimes when the gap opens up just slightly, and so it's this slow transition into Flicksville, where you're like, no, it's cool, it's not cool, it's not very cool. It happened. But when I get flicked, because we won't watch that, the rest of the race, it got split. So I think there ended up being like 5 guys or 6 guys off the back, and just every lap, one guy would just drop off. I know this is gross. I'm sorry. It looks like testicles dropping in off the off the camera. But I'm trying to get tucked. I'm trying to get as aero as I can to save as many watts, because I'm just trying my best to recover right here. So gross. I'm trying my best to recover, and you can see we're just, man, it was so hard right there. So I'm hitting, I mean, talk about intervals, right? Like race winning intervals. So out of a 5-minute block, you're going to do 40 seconds at VO2 max, and then somewhere else on the course, you're going to go full max. You know, and then there's like these, and then you're going to hold like tempo essentially, or like zone 2 for the rest of the effort, just over and over and over again.
I think I just told my teammate right there, I was like, man, you got to go with that. I was kind of boxed in when that one went. And I looked over and I was like, you got to go with that.
Dude, I'm really
not having it right now.
I'm really surprised that he made it to the front, because there was one point where I think he attacked or he did something, and we hit the climb, and he was like, dude, not pedaling. I mean, he was just like, he was getting dropped.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was back on, and I was like, well, how did he do that?
I felt really bad, and I apologized to him. I think after the race, he did a really hard pull going into the hill, and then as soon as we got just started up the hill, I attacked, and then I realized when I got over the top that he almost got dropped. So I totally apologize. I said I shouldn't have attacked in that moment. I apologize for that. I didn't mean to put him on the edge, and my goal wasn't to drop him.
Yeah, you almost did. But it's man, some guys have the ability to come back and to recover pretty well. So I think I have maybe 2 more times up this climb, and then fall back. And then so what I was saying is that the group that I fall back with, we shed, I think there was like 5, and then one just stopped riding. It was the one of the Stork guys, and he was just like, there's no reason for me to continue riding. So he just dropped off, and then Dave Grubman, I attacked them, because I was trying to attack out of that group, and it was Alex, the guy right in front of me, the Portland guy, and Dave Grubman, and a Stork, and I think one other. Anyway, I attacked them a bunch, but I couldn't ever get a full-on gap. But anyway, you know, we're racing for minor places. So then, is that your, no. There's your teammate right there. So it's stuff like that where, you know, the Stork guys kind of are just slowly, they're creating those little gaps, and you have to come around them. That hurts sometimes.
To get it 0 watts. Coastville.
God. Dude, you need it after that super hard effort.
Well, that was what was frustrating too, is we'd go so hard over the top. Oh my
Dude,
yeah.
He has to have a motor. Like, that was such an insane acceleration.
See, we'd go so hard over the top, and then everyone would be like, nah, we're done. And then they would do that. And
Yeah.
I think I was boxed in the middle of the group when that happened.
Well, and so
he went so hard.
You guys are still in the group.
Yeah.
So I know for sure you're gonna put in some sort of work.
Dude, look how far away they are already.
Dude, he literally was shot out of a cannon. That's insane.
Those jokers were strong, I'm not gonna lie.
No. So the Lux. So then you get this guy in the black to actually go to the front and do a little bit of work. Stork is on the front. The guys in the blue, because they're teammates up the road. Then you and your teammate, who have been doing a lot of work, man,
Dude, we're spent.
The way this race finished out at this point seems very unlikely. It really does. So
No, I mean when I get in the move that I get into, I mean at that point, I realized that the people who didn't make it, they said screw it, it's not worth it.
right.
I mean, we just kept doing the same thing every single lap, and eventually someone just said, "I'm done," and then people agreed with them and said, "Yep, us too."
Well, what made this race so hard is that usually, I would say, with that happening, those constant attacks, maybe 30 minutes, around that, 30 minutes, 40 minutes before everyone goes, forget this. But it wasn't. I mean, it was an hour. And that's just like, frustrating.
We did have a good 10-minute warm-up.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes of the race was pretty chill. But yeah, once they started, they went for 50 minutes straight until something finally stuck.
How nice is it to have a road that is super well paved?
I like this course. It's really fun. I mean, it's just wide enough. It's not too wide. Yeah, the pavement is legit. It's pretty clean. There's really nothing to get a flat from. It's a closed course. It's fun. I like it.
So I'm on the front. Is Alex up there with them?
That's a good question.
I feel like it at one point Alex was up the road and I crossed the... Maybe that was the next day. I might be getting the Sequoia one mixed up.
No, he was up the road in this race too.
I know, but I don't think it was right here. I think there's a stork and then just like a miscellaneous dude.
It honestly might be him.
I don't know. Maybe. I think it might be Alex, because I think there was a time where I came across and the announcer was saying something like that I was blocking for my buddy, Alex. That I wasn't chasing him. Which...
I heard that.
Yeah,
I said, that's a lie.
Yeah, I'm not intentionally blocking. I'm just, not able to pedal. Why are you ducking? My wife came in and she's ducking. Like, there's no camera on. And then she just slammed the cat in the door. Cool.
Is that your cat?
It's a cat.
I like how she's like, yeah, that's our cat. And yours like, nah, it's a cat.
No, it's not my cat. So this guy's on the front. So
he was pretty strong.
I think that this little break stuck for a couple laps.
I think you're right. Alex might be up there with it. Because I remember Alex was in the break for a couple laps. And I wasn't super worried. I just wanted to keep the pace high enough to keep them within range if we had to.
So right here, I'm just hurting so bad. And so I'm using the little bit of pack that there is to kind of fall back and get back onto the wheels. But this little part right here is what makes a huge difference between Cat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In Cat 5, everyone goes hard on the hill and shuts it down at the top. As you get further through your categories, which is that's the race categories, the harder they go over the top and the longer they go over the top. So a lot of times in a Cat 5 race, you go up the hill and stop at the top, and that's that. And if you can just make it to the top of the hill, great. But then Cat 4, Cat 3, they start to kind of pressure over the top. And then Cat 1s and 2s, the hardest part is not the climb. The hardest part is right as you crest. And then it's just like you're freaking on the rivet, and then it's just, they slam it.
I've noticed that too in training when you ride with guys that are in like Cat 4s and Cat 3s. It's funny, I'll be on a training ride and we'll go like a decent pace up the climb, and as soon as we get to the climb, I'm already shifting into the big ring and starting to apply power to roll over the top and keep going. And I always gap them.
Always.
Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, for sure.
And it's just like, dude, you'll get it one day. When you get to the Cat 1, 2s, you'll get it. When you get over the climb, it's not rest time.
No, it's not. You don't have a finish line. You know,
you gotta keep going.
There isn't that, like in football. Sometimes they say like run through the stop. Like you don't look at the top of the climb as a finish line. You look at the bottom of the climb as a finish line. Like you just roll over the top, click up gears, and even if it's tempo, threshold, or whatever, just keep going. And that a lot of times will dislodge someone from the back.
And I think if you practice that in training too, it will allow you to handle these kind of races a lot better. Because if you're that guy who just gets to the top and is like, oh, that was so hard, smash, and then you just kind of roll over. Well, when you get in a race where they get to the top and you're like, this is hard, I'm smashed, and then they keep going, you're not going to be ready to do that. It's just a good little thing to practice in training, I think.
Yeah. Also, it teaches your body how to recover under stress, so that you're not
True.
looking at a complete slowdown. I remember when I first started riding, I'd ride with a group that would go balls to the walls for 20 minutes and then stop at a cafe or a rest stop. And it was just, that's how it was. Every 20, 30 minutes, go super hard and then completely stop. Get off your bike, sit down. And that's not what you want to do, because then you're teaching your body that the only way to recover is to completely disengaging from that effort, right? And so, like you said, but you learn that when you get into the fast races and you go, oh, cool, the top of the climb is over, it's done, yay. And then they keep going. You learn that quickly that's not you can't do that.
It's also a mental thing too. I mean, you're teaching yourself mentally.
Yeah.
Just because the top is here does not mean it's going to get easier. You're already ready to expect that they're going to smash over the top.
Right. So now Stork is in a good spot here because they have the strongest team, for sure.
This is where I screwed my teammate.
Okay. And so the Stork guys are just recovering, which is not what you want, because they're just so strong. Because they're guys up the road. And so then it all comes down to you and anyone else that wants to take this race by the balls, which is just pretty impressive that how much work you did in this race, and for then being able to make it. But I mean, this race kind of suits you. It suits smaller guys. And again, like I said, it's literally, if you weighed 150 pounds plus, you did not make this. So I'm thinking your teammate's getting dropped for sure there.
Well, I just attacked after he did a pull on the front. And like I said, I apologized after the race to him. I was like, I shouldn't have done that. I realized I put you in a very tough spot.
So this is where I think I kind of mess with this dude in front of me. Because I don't think he closes down the gap, right? We get gapped right here. And so, yeah.
Dude, I did that attack and then they took off. See,
where's you?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Oh no. I'm against the ropes now. What just happened?
Right. So now, this is pretty much how. So now there's a group up the road chasing the other guys. There's Stork in there. The Lux guy's in there. You guys aren't, but you guys are waxed.
Yeah.
And this is, he's flicking his elbow. I'm like, psych, bro. But so right here is where I'm just like, nah, man, you gotta pull. But he's messing up by pulling too hard and possibly letting me bridge this gap. So then I try to do that. I try to bridge this gap.
Because I went with you.
Because if those guys up the front get over that little crest and keep drilling,
it's over.
Well, it's over, but I could have possibly leapfrogged, but then they're just not going very hard. So then it's like, ugh. I burned that match. I burned that match hard, and just basically brought everyone with me.
I will be honest though, this race was incredibly hard. None of the stuff I did was easy. Maybe in the first 20 minutes. After that, it sucked. I was smashed afterwards.
So I get
no next lap.
I get flicked at 56:22, and so maybe there's one more lap in me. But that little effort right there where we were getting dropped, and then I tell myself, this is it. This is your last move. This is the winning move. All in, burn all remaining matches. And then when it's not the winning move, you're just over it. And how many times can I tell myself this is it? One more time.
Gosh, this was such a hard day.
What was my... I'm going to bring up the Strava on this day. Dude, and then, so as soon as we just caught the break, and Alex was in that break. As soon as we catch them, the Stork guys are going off hard.
I'm surprised Alex chased that.
Yeah, he was feeling froggy, man. He was
feeling so froggy. He was ready to jump.
Yeah, man, he wanted it. It's
like April 1st.
There we go. So many matches. So my average speed for this was 24.2 for an hour and 20 minutes with 2,100 feet of climbing. So that...
What was mine?
Yeah, where are you? Let's see what yours is.
25 and a half.
Jeez. a mile an hour faster.
All right, so this is where I get ready to attack. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So just here in a little bit, we are going to flick to Tony's camera.
Chaz's camera.
Sorry, Chaz's camera.
I'm a little bit smaller than Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's like ginormous and amazing to draft behind.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, see, I followed that one.
So you followed that one. Okay, so now let's flicker into your camera. All right. So you're following this guy.
The stork guy.
I kind of want to bring... I'm going to go
Stork.
side by side on this.
Stork went up, and then...
So you're putting out some major watts, and then you can see me just going, see ya to everybody. Just the gaps opening up. Stork guy goes to the front. You're on his wheel.
That was so hard.
Crushing. And I'm out of my skull. I mean, I'm doing more watts than you. And then so on my screen, you can see that the stork guy that I'm on, he does not need to pull. And so we basically get into a situation where there's only one guy that's willing to pull, and he stops. And then everyone fans out. But look at your screen. Everyone, 0 watts. So if there was a couple more people in our group that got dropped to, like, finish that. All right. We're over my screen. Let's look at yours.
When we started doing 0 watts, I turned around and I looked back and I said, dude, we got a good sized gap here. Like, let's go. And I think we had 2 storks. I was in the break, and my teammate was actually in the break with me. And then we had the Lux kid was with us, and we had...
Dude, look at you. You're just smashing up this little roller.
One other rider with us.
Now, if you're wondering why Chaz's camera looks weird, is that he put the setting on narrow and not super wide.
Okay, it died and, like, reset to that for some reason.
So you get super zoomed on the butts. Lots of butts.
Look at our kids. So legit. DNA cycling, specialized.
Okay. No plugs. No plugs on my channel for non-sponsors, please. So your teammate, like, now you guys, I feel like you guys are all working well together. You know this is the selection, and you know that the VC got dropped, and you're just putting the hurt on me. And
I mean, look at my heart rate, dude.
Yeah. What is your max? What's the highest your heart rate's ever gotten?
I've been between 200 and 205. I'm pretty sure what I hit on this, I hit 202 on this one. I hit 202 beats. But I think I averaged 184 for the race.
Yeah. So now you've got 2 storks. One stork got dropped.
Yeah,
he didn't really get dropped. He was just behind the opening and doesn't need to chase that. Doesn't need to close that down.
Yeah.
So it's not that he necessarily got dropped. He just helped open up this gap.
He let it go. He made you guys work,
which
you guys winded.
We couldn't.
Yeah.
There's just no way it was going to happen.
No, so it's me, my teammate, 2 storks, a Lux rider, and then that dude in the all black kit, and that's it. It's my dad on the left side, clapping me on.
Who drove a Ferrari to the event?
Yeah,
I saw a Ferrari. He's like, who?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Who's here in a Ferrari?
Yeah.
Get in the almond business, fellas. So, who is that black dude?
I don't know. He was pretty strong though, but I don't know who he is.
So, are you guys pacelining right now? Like, what is your thought? It's essentially it's 2-on-2, right? 2 storks, 2 specialized. You guys have the majority of the work to need to be done. It looks like you guys are pacelining, and that's probably why you guys opened the gap so quickly on us.
Yeah, I mean, I yelled at him. I said, listen, we got a gap. Like, seriously, let's start to work together and open it up. And for me, I was trying to sit in as much as possible because I figured one of those store guys would attack over this climb, and I really wanted to go with it because that last time of the climb, it hurt so much.
So you're doing 100. Look how fast your cadence is. That is, I think that's a huge issue with what happened with me is just my low cadence. I think I've said that too many times now. But
Okay.
So then that stork dude just blasted off.
Yeah, and he's gone the rest of the race. He will stay solo up the road.
Really?
Yeah, we don't catch him. I'm pretty sure it's that guy.
Weren't you right at the finish?
Yeah, I was racing for second.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
How does that guy have that motor? Look how much watts you guys are putting out.
He did it the next day at Sequoia. He went off the front solo there towards the end, and then some guys bridged to him.
You got gapped right there, dude.
Yeah, I hurt up that one. That was not fun. He put in a really hard attack. And it was hard because the other guy with us didn't want to do anything. So this guy was like, maybe I'll go. And I was like, I'll follow you. And pretty much it's me and him.
Because Stork's not going to chase. And so now it comes on to you and that other dude. But you said Lux starts to put in. Like, how frustrating is this right here where he's right there?
Dude, he was right there. He ended up beating us by 10 seconds. So he won the race by 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure.
Well, and what?
And this was
So it's about a 20-minute. So, like, 20-minute effort. What is his... Do you know what his name is?
Harrison Bailey. I think is his name because he's the Aussie.
Aussie. So let's... Oh. I want to look at what... Let's see. No, he says he got 4th. No. Sorry. Dude, stop doing that. Okay. What? I'm trying to look at this other guy's...
He was crazy strong. I'll be honest.
So that looks like probably that attack that he did right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for about 20 minutes, no way. Did he? Is that really?
I would do it right there.
That's the attack.
Start from right there until. Yeah, try that. See what that looks like. What do you average? Almost like
364.
Gah! No wonder he was gone.
364 watts for 15 minutes. 364 watts for 15 minutes at the last 15 minutes of the race. So, an hour into his legs. And so let's see what he did up until that point. So he averaged 274 watts for an hour. And then did a 5 watt per kilo plus effort to win the race. That's what it takes to win a race, boys. That's a motor. Like, that's crazy. So Lux Boy on the front, who's got personality beaming out of his eyes, he is on the front drilling it, and
dude, I was crazy. Like, we couldn't catch him.
That's insane. It's so funny to look at the profile of this. Look how many times, like, if you're gonna do intervals. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 times up this hill. to 17 times up the hill. So if you were to say, I'm going to go out and do 17 max efforts with 3-minute recovery.
It's a killer workout.
Killer workout.
It's almost impossible.
It hurts. So what was your training like coming up to this race? You're building for Copperopolis, which went horrible for you. And
Thanks.
Yeah. So what are you're coming into this race with how many hours in your legs?
I just came off a rest week.
And how does that feel for you?
I was a little nervous, to be honest. Usually when I do rest weeks, my heart rate gets really fresh. So then when I start doing like threshold stuff, it peaks really fast.
So then because now it looks like your watts are not that high on this climb. Did you guys kind of ease it down a little bit?
Yeah, we took it more attempt. I mean, we weren't attacking over the top anymore. We were actually working as a group because this guy was out the front. So really, it was me, my teammate, that Lux kid, and then that other dude in the black. We were the only ones that were working. The other stork guy was just sitting on like he should have been because his teammate's up the road. So we're just trying to set a solid pace to bring him back. But as you see, he's not even in our sight anymore.
Was this in March or April?
Beginning of April.
Oh, okay. So I want to see what let me see your week was. I just have you and I compared here. So average rides per week, we're both at 7 rides per week. Your distance is 184 miles a week. Mine's 158. Your average time is 9 hours, 30 minutes. Mine's 8 hours, 40 minutes.
You've been riding a lot since you got Zwift.
Yeah. Your distance for 2017 though is about 1,000 extra miles and an extra 20 hours. Oh, look at that's weird. You have 100 rides and I have 118.
Well, you've been doing a lot of Zwift.
Yeah.
A lot of.
Dude, you have 41,000 miles total on Zwift, or I mean on Strava.
I think that's since like I don't even know when I started it. 2011 maybe.
Crazy. So tell me what's going through your mind here that you're potentially not racing for the win. Have you given up right now that you're not going to catch this guy?
No. There's actually a point where me and the dude in the black kit, we actually break away from the rest of the group that's with us. And I think it's right now. I think me and him are off the front. And it was pretty funny early on.
Well, in a chase, right?
Yeah, we're in a chase from the breakaway we were just in to try to catch the guy off the front. And very early on, I looked at him and I said, no games or else we won't catch this guy. Let's just work together till the end. Like, I'm willing to sprint it out with you. And he's like, agreed. So me and him got into this very equal sharing, like actually throwing some solid pulls. But we could not bring that guy back. And we got the Lux kid. So my teammate's in behind us, and Stork is in the chase group. And then we have the Lux kid, who's also with him. And obviously, Stork and my teammate Specialized, they're not going to work at all. So the Lux kid is full on pulling, giving everything he has to try to bring me and this guy back.
Wow. How's that feel? To get pulled back by like a solo, like a dude that shouldn't be pulling you back, like you would have had third in the bag.
Yeah, I think this guy that I'm with, I feel like he didn't go all in.
He doesn't look like it.
No, because when I was doing pulls, I saw our speed increase, and I was trying to pull just above threshold.
So Ruben's Strava is kind of painful. His average was 255 watts, and how he's 130 pounds?
138. So he's got.
Jeez Louise.
He's got about.
Jeez Louise.
7 pounds on me. So I mean, I averaged 269, and he averaged 255.
Dude.
See, this was nice though. We could take this hill.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to go much above 400, so I tried to stay like at 400.
So let's see what he did to pull you guys back. It looks like he averaged about 300 watts, 294 for 10 minutes. But I mean, with how light he is, that's
the guy I was with. He didn't give it his all, so that was a little frustrating looking back on it.
Yeah. I wish I could see his heart rate.
But we were trading pulls. I mean, I got to the top of this climb. I was like, your turn. Felt really bad because you really don't get a rest up that hill.
So right now the race started with 15-ish, and it is just scattered all over the course. So if you were sitting at the finish line, you would see 1 come by, 2 come by, 3 come by, 2 come by,
yeah,
1 come by. I mean, just completely blown apart. You know, and at the end of this, I'll play the rest or part of the little race off the back, because I throw down some pretty gnarly attacks. Because man, for me, I recover really fast and really well, but I have to sustain a very low pace for a while. Like I have to like come back down to earth, and so it's a little bit hard because I can't recover under stress.
Look at my pulse compared to his.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing like definitely my threshold's 330 at this point, so I'm doing 330 or above, trying to bring that guy back. And then when he pulls to the front, like you can just totally
you can see he's kind of like looking back at you, sort of gauging, you know. But dude, honestly, your pulls though, and how small you are, is sometimes
it's hard to hide.
It's hard, dude. It's hard to get on your wheel and to do anything. But yeah, it's a bummer because after I got flicked after about a lap, I was fresh as a daisy, and then I was like throwing down big attacks. It's just one of those things, man. Yeah, you can kind of see. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes you can see someone's body posture, and
he looks pretty relaxed.
Yeah, he looks relaxed. He looks like he's maybe tempo, and then he keeps looking at you, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if he had been going hard, but he looks kind of big. He looks bigger than you. He looks bigger than everyone else that's off the front. So maybe he's just in the herd locker big time. Your RPMs 100 almost all the time or more. Do you train specifically for that? Is that like something that you do cadence drills at all?
I used to. I haven't in a while. I've been doing a lot of climbing lately, so I've been really trying to keep my cadence up on climbs. So, I mean, when I race, I tend to pick the higher cadence because if you think about it, you're doing a faster cadence, and yeah, it might, if you're not ready for it aerobically, it might spike your heart rate. But with that, you're putting less force on the pedals. You know, a 90 RPM versus an 80 RPM is a world of difference in force. So for me, just doing the higher cadence allows me to keep my legs a little bit fresher.
But you have to have an anaerobic motor to facilitate that.
Yeah, so you do have to practice it. I mean, during the off season, I was doing like tempo work where I would do 20-minute efforts, and during the 20-minute efforts, I would do 2 minutes at 75, and then I would do like 2 minutes at 100, and I would go back and forth for an hour or for 20 minutes, and then I would do like 2 or 3 sets of that during the off season, and I noticed huge gains in just my legs were just fresher too.
Yeah, no, for sure, but you have to get used to it because I feel like it's harder to catch your breath. It's harder to pace your breath when your RPMs are so maxed out. And so on the rollers, that's something that I felt like I got a huge bonus from doing the rollers a lot, was sustaining 120 RPMs and trying to keep like your heart rate from just blowing out of your face. But having both the ability to grind and the ability to spin, I mean, you need that.
Yeah.
Dude,
some of the hardest workouts I did was I would do SFRs. So
Yeah.
slow frequency reps where like you'd find a hill of 5% and do, I don't know, say 4 minutes at like a 55 cadence. And you would do, I would do probably 4 sets of 4 minutes. And then when I was done with that on the way home, on the flats, I would do, 2 sets of 10 minutes at the same type of wattage, and I would actually do it at 110 RPM.
Wow.
So you just spent this time doing low cadence grinding, and then now it's like you're just spinning out of your mind on the trying, so you're working both sides of the muscles, and I noticed huge gains from that. But
Well, I really like SFRs. I feel that they teach you how to make full pedal strokes and to focus on applying power in like a more efficient manner. And always what it seems to help me with is my like zone 3 SFRs. Like really like zone 3 feels way more easy where you're kind of at that low cadence. But sometimes, man, you got to work that high cadence for sure.
and it's not fun. I mean, it's uncomfortable. Like there's sometimes
What about cycling is comfortable?
Yeah.
Like if you're a road cyclist and you're out on the road and you're going, this is comfortable, you're not going hard enough. Like you're not training hard enough.
Yeah.
You're not going to be getting better.
But I have plenty of days that are like that though, where I go out and to me it's just zone 2 and
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you
It's fun
got to
and
structure that. You got to
enjoyable.
structure that stuff in. But
Yeah.
if you're in a workout and you're thinking that it's comfortable, that's not, or in a
No.
race in your
just go out, get it done, get the heck home. That's what I do with workouts.
yeah. Well, which is a little bit different from what you've done in the past, which is
Yeah.
I think last year you were doing about the same workouts I was doing at about the same power, or maybe just a little less than what I was doing. But
But the rest of the ride
power
was so
to the
hard.
workout and your power home from the workout,
It was all zone 3.
dude, it
all
was
tempo.
insanity.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. It was really cool. I mean, it helped me get fit extremely fast, but then I did not. You have to take so much time off because you come off this high, and it's just not worth it. I literally took a whole month off at the end of the year because
Why are you not to the inside here? The shortest path is going to be like
sand and crap right there.
because it looked like
Kinda
you're kind of
see
going
it.
wide. So then, are we going into the last lap? I think we are, because we've got 3 minutes left. Yeah, this has to be the last lap.
Oh, that was the last lap. Shoot.
Oh, that was the last. We were on the last lap. Okay, we're gonna have to back this up for a second. Back this up.
I did not realize that. All right. Well, yeah. Take it to the top.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to right
Sorry,
over the
guys.
crest.
We're
So
talking about training. That was awful. All right. So we all come back together at the top.
right here before
Yeah.
you descend,
The Lux Kid catches us. We're all back together.
on the last lap he catches you.
Yeah, I look over to my right, and everyone's all on the right side of the road. I'm on the left side, and everyone's just kind of looking at each other. And I said, you know what? Screw it. Peter Sagan, and I just took off. I started putting power in, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go after this one. Try to
Which
take
is
the win.
almost impossible to do on the downhill.
especially being so light.
Yeah, you're light. You're just to carry that all the way is going to be difficult. But so, I mean, your watts aren't there yet. I don't know, man. What are you doing? Is everyone just hanging out and then you go?
Maybe this is right before the last lap. I'm very confused.
No, this is.
Yeah, this isn't it, because I was smashing, giving everything I had.
Maybe the watts. So here you go. Now you're picking it up. Wow, you just hit 1,200 watts right there. So maybe everyone was fanned out, and that's when you attacked, and you're trying to hold it because you're really drilling it.
I tacked at the top, and no one was on my wheel on the way down.
Okay.
And
So it must be that the watt. I might have gotten the watts a little bit off, but so then
yeah,
catches you there, and
my wife was like, you almost took second, but you just stopped pedaling. And I was like, well, I didn't choose to. My legs literally stopped on me. They were like, no, you're done.
yeah,
I mean, I hit my max. Wait, you said 1,200?
it was close to that. Yeah,
I mean, that's literally the best I can. I mean, the best I can do. I hit 1,250 a couple weeks ago, but since then, the best I can do is 12 to 12:10. So I give it everything I had, and I was
You were there, man. You were right there. You were close.
I made a gutsy move to bomb the descent and try to take second since the other guy was still up the road from us. It didn't work out, but my teammate did come through the sprint and take third, so at least one of us made the podium. That's the only reason why I did it, too, is because I knew I had the teammate right there.
What did you end up getting? Did you get caught by everyone?
Just the brake guys. So out of the... Yeah, I got 5th. I took 5th.
That's such a bummer. That's such a bummer. I mean, for how much work you put in, like what, and then how close you were to getting. I thought you almost won, so that's insane that Stork dude was just.
Yeah, he won by 10 seconds. So Stork went 1-2. My teammate Jeff Specialized went 3. I think the Lux kid went 4, and then I went 5, and then the dude in the black. So the dude in the black is the one who chased me on the downhill. The guy I was working with for those couple laps while the Lux kid was chasing us, for some reason he decided to chase after me on the downhill and give up his spot for second place, which didn't make sense to me. I was very confused by that one. So
yeah, man. Well, that was a good race. It was hard. Race. It was difficult. It was much hard. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll play a little bit of the final bit of my stuff where we kind of just roll around together. But I end up attacking a couple times, and we ended up getting just 3 guys out of that back group. I think I got 9th. Or whatever. Doesn't really matter. I don't think there's much more I could have done now that I look back on it.
It was an extremely tough race.
There was maybe a couple times where I maybe didn't have to go so hard. I don't know. I mean, I really honestly, that I look back on it, I can't see anything I would have improved upon. I hit as much as I could. I didn't really make any attacks. It's just what it is what it is. So these type of races where you got to write it off as good training. Put it in the bank and move on. Get back onto the horse. So, Chaz, anything else?
I think that was fun.
Right
fun
on.
Race.
Sweet guys, follow Chaz at Chaz Turman. Is that?
Yeah, CHAZTURMN.
You follow him on Strava, and you can follow him on
Instagram.
The Instagram. So as always, guys, thank you so much, Vegan Cyclist. Yeah.